Please turn up the volume for this one. After a shocking police raid, the staff at the Marion County Record, a Kansas weekly newspaper, cobbled together whatever equipment they had left, pulled an all-nighter, and published its latest edition. My colleague Stephanie Gosk has this very important backstory.
The county attorney for this small Kansas town said there was insufficient evidence to justify last week's police raid of the paper and withdrew the search warrant. All of the items seized now being returned. The Kansas Bureau of Investigations says it will keep investigating.
Do you think that this search violated your constitutional rights?
Yes, absolutely. It was designed to create a chilling effect on our publication.
National news organizations, including NBC News, called the raid a violation of the First Amendment.
The response was like that to the Medellin drug cartel, with this massive raid that occupied all the police in the whole eastern half of the county.
The search warrant accused reporters at the paper of identity theft and computer crimes while investigating a local restaurant owner, Carrie Newell. Newell said the paper illegally obtained her driving record, which included a DUI. Meyer denies the allegations. He said the raid was a bullying tactic and believes the stress contributed to the death of his 98-year-old mother, who co-owned the paper.
If she had known that her death would have caused some people to notice this issue, I think she would have felt very proud about that.
In the last 5 days, Meyer says he's received 2,000 new subscriptions, most new readers who don't live anywhere near Marion, Kansas.
I am honored to welcome Eric Meyer, the co-owner, publisher, and editor at the Marion County Record. You saw him in Stephanie's report. He is joining us now from the newsroom, where he is sitting at the part-time sports editor's desk. Why? Because it is the only computer left in the building. Eric, this is such an extraordinary and upsetting on so many levels story. The search warrant has now been withdrawn. Have you gotten any insight into how the raid was approved, how this even happened?
It's very interesting because the probable cause affidavit, which normally precedes a search warrant, was actually filed 3 days after the search. And it contains, there was also a search done at the vice mayor's house, and the probable cause affidavit for that clearly states that the vice mayor got the document, which we were accused of supplying her, got the document from the source that we had, and that all we did was verify that the document existed. We don't know why they searched her house. We don't know why they searched my mother's house. We don't know why they searched our office. The evidence of that we had, the document that we obtained from our source, was sitting on my desk. They didn't seize it. They did seize the computer of a reporter who had been investigating the police chief sometime earlier. She had been sick that week. She wasn't even in the office. We don't know. There's also, we have just uncovered tonight some new evidence as going through some of the probable cause things. I'm not ready to say exactly what it is yet, but it hints of a political motive for this as well.
Now, the Kansas Bureau of Investigations is looking into this. Have you heard from them?
We have not. We, in fact, have not heard from any law enforcement officer throughout this, except for the fact that a week ago today, or a week ago tomorrow, we sent them a notice saying that we had come into possession of this document, and here it is. And if you have any questions about it, if you think there's a follow-up that's warranted to do about this, ask us. But we're not doing anything with it. We found out that this was really just some posturing in a divorce case between the restaurant owner and her estranged husband. He wanted to say that she had a DUI and her driver's license had been suspended for 14 years so that he could keep the cars. We told her that. She admitted that that's what she thought. In fact, she even knew what the source was right after she had gone into a meeting and accused us. The political tie-in of this is interesting because we have some evidence that the police and actually the city administration wasn't going to pursue this case, and still there was a political motivation injected into it. We're working on that right now. I can't say any more because that's our story for tomorrow.
That will be your story for tomorrow because you are publishing your damn paper, which is extraordinary. We were so sad to learn of your mother Joanne's passing. I know you called her an encyclopedia of knowledge. What would it have meant to her knowing that you and your staff pulled it together and published the paper as scheduled this week?
Oh, it'd mean everything. It'd mean everything. And it'd also, you live 98 years and you figure it's coming pretty soon. I mean, you don't know when. She'd already at one point, 2 or 3 months ago said, and this is the outfit I want to use in my funeral and, all the rest of that stuff. It was terrible that her last 24 hours were nothing but grief and feeling that her life had been meaningless. She'd worked at this newspaper since 1960. She was still employed here. She still worked 1 day a week, gathering old time information for us. But that last 24 hours, she was just beside herself as if her whole life hadn't meant anything. She would now be turned around looking at the outpouring of people. You mentioned in the little pre-seed that we had almost 2,000 subscriptions. It's now up to almost 4,000, which is double. Our press run was 4,000 this week. So we've doubled in circulation after this. She would be very impressed with the organizations that supported us, the news organizations that are interviewing us, but I think mostly with the average citizen coming out there. And this is one of those issues that crosses left and right. We have people on the left who are telling us about it, people on the right who are telling us about it. They're all saying the same thing. This isn't American. This isn't proper. This is improper abuse of a power to intimidate someone. It's a uniting issue, and there are darn few of those in our society these days.
Well, you are one impressive American. And that number you're up to, 4,000, I've got a prediction that it is going to be growing big time. Eric, it is a privilege to meet you and speak with you tonight. Thank you so, so much.